Heyo.
I should go on the other side, shouldn't I?
Yeah. And like I said, you don't need a
Going the
paddle
right
if you
way.
don't want, but if you feel like it, yeah, you
Okay, I
can.
just go with the flow.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah. And then I also like, sometimes the guest they're like, I want to take control. And then you can.
I don't need to take control.
Okay.
It's all you, dude. I will go
Smart
wherever we
kid.
go. So there's only one way. We can't come back over here? Are we going to like...
What do you mean come back over here?
Because you said we can only go one way. Are we not going to come back where we came from?
Oh, no, we are going to come back over. I meant like I'm going forward, so it's a lot easier for me. Like, you're paddling right now, but it's really not doing that much.
Yeah, because I'm going the opposite.
You're going, yeah.
Oh, wait. I can't
I mean,
even
it
tell
is
if I'm doing it
but
right.
it's just not the best motion for getting the best, like, leverage to go back like that.
Yeah, I would need to be facing the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
like if I stopped and you tried to paddle us around.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's working a muscle that I don't normally work either.
Right. And the most power comes from the back, but whatever, I don't know how it works.
It's like a roller coaster. The part of the roller coaster is always the back.
Right. See, now we're already going backwards. You failed.
I did. Oh, damn it. This is so embarrassing. You got that on camera?
You're good. But that's what I meant by control. You can, like, we can, if
just
you
gonna
want to
hold
be,
this.
yeah, whatever.
This is cool.
We're out here in the wilderness.
In the wilderness with the trucks and that guy with his arms out.
Oh, yeah.
How many times a week are you out here?
Once.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, like I said, I'd like to do more, but it just takes forever to edit. So I'm just trying to be consistent about once a week, and then if I can start to manage more, then I'll do more. But yeah, usually once a week. But it's nice. I mean, I'd like to come out here even if I didn't have a podcast,
I know. I was going to be like, it feels very peaceful and
Yeah.
just one with nature, even though you can see the city.
You have to have a podcast to hang out with people or to meet people. You can't just say, hey, I want to go on my canoe for 2 hours and just talk.
That's fair.
That's strange.
It's not strange. It's just that's the life of a comedian. Once you're a comedian, you can only hang out with other comedians at shows, open mics, podcasts.
Podcasts.
Or if you're making a sketch, that's also an acceptable hangout.
There's work to be done.
There's always got to be work happening.
Yeah.
Also, comedians, they're never not working. I don't like, especially like your first 5 years, you're at a mic every day of the week.
Right.
So the idea of being like, let's just go do something for fun, you're like, but what is fun if we're not getting up on stage?
But don't you think it's important too, though? Like,
to be up? Oh,
like
for
sometimes
fun?
I think if I'm just doing open mics and there's nothing else going on in my life, it's like, you still need to have experiences, right?
I 100% think that's important.
You need to have field trips.
There's a really good podcast. Have you ever listened to, I'm gonna be so embarrassed for not remembering his name. He's a really famous comedian.
These are what the edits are for. I can edit and post.
The guy from Crashing.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Pete Holmes?
He's really funny. Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
Him and, I'm going to forget his name too. I'm so bad at names.
Me too.
The guy from Silicon Valley.
I never saw that show.
Okay. He was supposed to come to the Creek recently. I can't think of his name.
Oh, TJ Miller.
TJ Miller. TJ Miller and Pete Holmes are friends, or we're coming up at the same time. I don't know if they're friends.
Yeah.
But I want to
friends.
say on Pete Holmes' podcast, they had this whole discussion about how TJ was a workaholic with comedy, whereas Pete always was kind of more like, I want to have experiences as well. And both are very successful and have managed to create great careers.
Yeah.
But I think it's your personality, what you want.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there's so much talk about you got to do this, that, but it's there's not one way to do anything. And if you do something the exact way someone else did it, it's it's not original, so.
Well, that, and also you're just a different person.
Yeah.
You can't expect the same results.
Yeah.
Because you're coming from a different starting point, or you have different advantages or disadvantages.
Right.
Yeah, people always I don't want to take advantage of something. A lot of women are like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm getting advantages because I'm a woman and they need a woman on a show. And it's yeah, but if you don't take that advantage, someone else is getting an advantage that you're not getting.
Yeah.
So why not take that one?
Yeah. Wait, is that like a common insecurity for women comics?
For some.
Yeah.
I've felt that way.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, they just booked me because I'm a girl and they needed a girl.
Yeah.
And maybe that is the case, but it's like, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take that time to get better as a comedian and then make yourself more undeniable.
Right. Yeah. And so even if that's the case, it doesn't take from the amount of times that maybe you weren't booked because you are a girl, or that you weren't booked because you're not friends, or you.
Yeah, there's so many random
bullshit.
things.
It's so subjective that you can never know why anything is happening. So
you just got to do what's right for you, man.
Yeah.
Follow your bliss. Get on a canoe.
Yes, queen. Yeah, so that was probably your thought. You're like, oh, I'm just being booked on this canoe, just being invited on this canoe because I'm a girl.
I know.
And it's true. I've had a lot of pressure from management.
From management to have female artists on the canoe.
Yeah. To be a more diverse canoe.
You haven't had other female comedians on the canoe yet?
I have.
I was going to say, I think I've seen some. It was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
This seems pretty...
I'm just kidding. But it's not 50-50 where it needs to be.
Dude, how could it ever be 50-50? Well, one, you'd need to have 50-50 amount of like women trying to be comedians in the first place.
Yeah. What do you think the percentage is?
It feels higher than when I started. But probably like about 20-80 now.
20-80.
Like across the board, like across America, probably.
Yeah, it's probably different in different areas.
When I started in San Diego, which was a smaller scene, it was just me and like 3 other girls doing it regularly. There were like a handful of people who were like kind of hobby comics and would come out every once in a while.
Yeah.
But here, there's a lot. I feel like every day I meet a new chick comedian. I don't know what the appropriate word is anymore. I always used to say lady comedian because it makes me think of like lady cops, which also I don't think is appropriate.
It's appropriate coming from you.
I'm allowed to say it. It's fun to say though. She's a lady comedian.
Well, lady is just kind of a funny word.
It is funny.
Yeah. Lady. Can I offer you a beverage?
Oh, wow. What kind of beverages do you have? Is it water?
Yeah, I have water.
I'll take water.
All right.
Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. I actually had a water bottle, but Derek took it to the gym.
That's kind of fucked up.
I thought so too, but...
How did he justify that?
He just picked it up before I did when we were leaving. And then I was like, oh, you have my water bottle.
Like a water bottle like this, or a reusable one?
Like a reusable one.
Yeah, you guys got to get another water bottle in the house.
We have 3. But it's all a game of who gets to the water first.
Wait, so where were the other 2?
They weren't full. They weren't not filled up.
Couldn't you fill them up?
I could have.
Wait, so do you...
It's more of a laziness thing.
Wait, but I'm curious how this works. So you have these empty water bottles and then you fill them up and like put them
No,
somewhere?
they all get filled up normally at some point during the day. It's just we drink a lot of water. And honestly, when he took it, I was like, that's good. Because if I drink water, I'm going to have to pee when we're on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is a better choice.
Yeah. But it's nice to have water at least. Hey.
Hi.
She's listening to us right now.
What are y'all recording?
Are you listening to us right now?
No, she had her headphones in. It's a podcast.
It's called the Canoecast.
Canoecast.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
I thought it was Nico Radio.
So when I started my podcast off the canoe, it was called Nico Public Radio.
That's what it was like.
And then I started doing it on the canoe, and I would tell people it's called Nico Public Radio, and I was like, am I doing the best branding of myself, marketing? Because it just didn't go with the canoe thing as much, and people would always refer to it as the canoe podcast. And I heard once that someone said, like, if people call it something, you should just call it that, so it's easier.
It's probably smart. You know what's funny?
I did a rebranding.
When I saw the Nico Public Radio thing, because it's obviously NPR.
Yeah.
Which made me think, like, that makes sense, because NPR does remind me of, like, canoeing in the nature.
Yeah. But you would think of it as a different pot. You wouldn't think of it as being comedians on a canoe.
Comedians on a canoe.
But I don't even only want to talk to comedians. Like.
Yeah, it gets the same kind of conversations a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, no, everybody's got a different story. But.
Thanks for the water.
But yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. My treat. I just no, I love talking to comedians, but I love talking to everybody. You get different things from different people, I guess. I don't know, different stories, learn about stuff.
Yeah.
Well, comedians are the best.
Well, it's probably what you're most comfortable with, since your whole life probably is more comedians than other people. I mean, you moved here from somewhere else to do comedy.
Yeah, partly, yeah.
Do you have friends that aren't comedians?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Here?
Oh, here?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Oh!
I have one.
You've diversified for real.
I have one non-comedian friend, but he's like a friend from home that lives here, so. Do you have any non-comedian friends?
No, not really. There's a girl who lives in our building that I talk to sometimes. I like her.
Was that who you were talking to when
yes.
I picked you up? Yeah.
But other than that,
she's a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart. Shout out to Tiana.
Wait, I'm curious, how do you start talking to like a neighbor? Like, I feel like people used to do that more in the past, but now I feel like people live by each other and they just never, like, people just have their heads down.
I used to be better at it, and then we lived in LA for 4 years, and no one talks to their neighbors
LA's
there.
The worst.
But
maybe
slowly I became friends with certain people in my building there. We're friends with a couple in LA, but they had a dog. Whenever people with dogs, so easy to become friends with, because you befriend the dog first.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, I guess I have to say hi to your human also.
Yeah, that's a cheat code. Same with like dating and stuff. Like, that's
Dogs.
just get a dog, go to the park.
I feel like I'm a naturally friendly person. I'm more bad at like keeping up with friendships than I am at making them.
Yeah, same.
It's hard to maintain.
Yeah. Well, is that like a long distance thing, or
it's a long
even
distance
people that
thing.
You're close to, and
even people here, like, if it's like I'll befriend people, I'll meet around, but it's hard because your life is so in flux. Like, so many times you have to like cancel on things. You're like, I got booked, and you're like, I'm not in a position to not take this job, you know. So that's always tricky. So then most of your friends become comedians because they understand.
Right.
But yeah, I guess befriending neighbors is all about just saying hi, and then slowly, like, if you're the only person saying hi, it's so much easier because everyone else is so like into their own thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you do stand out.
Right. They're like, Sam, it's like so nice. It's so much easier to be nice nowadays. Like, you just have to not be mean.
Oh yeah, you just have to like make eye contact and smile, and people are like, oh my God, this person is so kind.
You made my week.
Yeah.
But then you gotta slowly. What do? You give a compliment. That's maybe a next step. Like,
that's normally my
I
go-to.
Like your shoes.
I always compliment people's clothes.
Yeah.
Try to keep it genuine.
Yeah.
It's not good when you make up fake compliments.
But what if you don't like anything? Then I guess you gotta.
And you just say nothing.
You just say nothing. Yeah. But I'm just not the most like observant person. Like, I don't notice things. Like, it's rare for me to. I guess I do sometimes, but. Is it different for guys
for dudes
too?
to like make compliments about. It's so easy because for me, if it's like I see a dude who looks like he puts any kind of effort into his outfit, I'm like, nice shirt.
Yeah.
Or looking spiffy.
Yeah.
I normally go with the grandparent compliments, like looking sharp. And dudes are like, oh my God, no one's talked to me like that since I was with my grandmother. Also, it's very non-sexual compliment to say looking sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
But I feel like coming from a guy, it seems like anything seems creepy. Maybe. Looking sharp.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Who is that?
You know, a lot of guys, I'm not wearing cool shoes right now, but I have some cool shoes. And a lot of times dudes will compliment me on my cool shoes. These aren't the cool ones. These are the ones I buy to get dirty. But Derek's bought me some pretty cool Nikes. And a lot of men will compliment me on my Nikes.
Shoes are an easy one. Yeah, shoes aren't creepy to compliment
It's not creepy to compliment on shoes.
Yeah. But see, those would be like shoes that guys would wear.
Yeah, they're cool shoes. They're like, they're runners or something,
Yeah.
It's tricky.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you date on like one of those apps and stuff?
No.
Okay.
I have a girlfriend.
Oh, look at you! Gosh, you're like what every comedian guy wants to be. Just content.
I didn't say I was content. No, it's terrible.
Whoa.
It's on the rocks.
Oh, damn. Does she live here?
Yeah, she lives here.
Okay.
No, yeah, I'm content. I'm just kidding.
Do you guys live together?
Yeah.
Oh, did you come together to Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
It is. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means once you go through a move with a significant other.
Oh, that's serious.
That's serious.
Yeah.
It's because it's hard work to move somewhere.
Yeah, that's like, it's like almost married.
It's pretty much.
Yeah, we made the move here, and yeah, I guess we were living together before, so it makes more sense. But yeah, we've been dating for almost 7 years, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you guys go to college together or grew up together?
High school.
High school.
High school.
That's so
yeah,
cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What does she do?
She does marketing for Yeti. You know Yeti?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeti's dope.
I'm going to hook you up with a water bottle.
Oh, hell yeah. I like water bottles. I have a lot of Yeti stuff. I have they have this like the thermal tea or coffee mug?
Uh-huh.
And it has that little thing that snaps back and forth. You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
lid.
yeah. Yes,
You can
yes.
kind of move this little doodad so that you can drink out of it and it'll
Right.
snap back on. But the coolest thing about it is it's magnetic.
Right.
Yeti ad. It's magnetic and you could take it off. So when you
Yes.
clean the thing, it gets really clean.
Yeah.
Dude.
See, I had that for so long and I didn't know it came off. And
I
then
didn't
one
either.
day I dropped it and it snapped off. I was like, oh shit, I broke it. But then I was like, what? It's a magnet?
I know. Same exact
Yeah.
realization. They should advertise it a little bit more clearly, I think.
Yeah.
But it's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Do you have all the Yeti stuff? Do you have that cool cooler that everyone...
No, she's only been working there for maybe a month or two.
Okay.
So she was, she was working for a different company before. But yeah, I think when you get hired, they're supposed to give you a cooler.
The coolers are
But
the
she
best.
hasn't gotten her cooler yet.
She's got to get a cooler.
Yeah. But no, she's given me she gave me a really nice backpack from there, which is like really nice.
I haven't even seen the backpacks.
Yeah,
This has just become a Yeti podcast.
they have a lot of, I think they even have clothes and stuff, but yeah.
Well, don't you find, okay, so you're like, how do you make friends? But you have a girlfriend. Don't you find that being in a relationship sort of gets in the way of having friendships? Not because
Yes.
they're keeping you from having friendships, but just because there's less time that you have free for other people.
Yeah, I mean, especially with comedy, it's like, our relationship is not, it's not the most ideal to be in a relationship with a comedian, especially as a non-comedian,
yeah.
So it's like when I find the time in the evening when I'm not doing open mics and stuff, I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend because that's already something that I don't do enough, so to do that, to find another person to be a friend to do that who's not a comedian, it's like, yeah, I don't know. As you get older, I guess you just don't have time. You do have time. It's just what you spend on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just kind of fill it up faster.
Mm-hmm. But maybe the key is I should make my girlfriend start doing comedy.
That's probably what you should do.
Right.
Make her. Force her to do comedy. Has she
Yeah.
been to any open mics before?
She has. I try not to bring her to open mics. If I get booked on a show once in a while, I'll bring her.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't need to go to that. It's appalling.
What's her name?
Grayson.
Grayson?
Yeah.
That's a dope name.
Thanks, I picked it.
You picked it? Yo, you're killing it. You have a girlfriend and you do comedy?
You have a girlfriend too.
I do have a girlfriend. But he does comedy, so.
Yeah, you made him do comedy, right?
Yeah, kind of. That's If without me, he would never do stand-up.
Yeah.
And then the world would be deprived of Derek.
Yeah. What if one of you quit comedy? Would it still work?
Oh, I don't know. I've considered this. Dude, we've talked about it. Sometimes when I first started doing stand-up, because he's been doing it like 5, maybe 6 years longer than me, so he's always been better than me. It's just really stressful, you know? You're like not constantly comparing yourself, but there's always this like competitive urge inside you. Like, I gotta get better than this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Makes me so fucking funny. God damn it. But it's good. It makes me get better.
Better
I don't
in
know
this.
if I would.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what would you say?
I was gonna say better in the sense of like better at doing comedy, or better in the sense of like outward success.
Oh no, better at doing it, because we're
Just
both
saying.
such like comedy heads. Like we both love like wouldn't even say I'm a good joke writer, but I love a good joke. I love also like people who perform. I love all aspects of it. I think it's the art itself is so dope.
You're a great joke writer.
Thank you.
Even,
I think I lean more on a performance than I do on my jokes.
Yeah.
But it's good for me to know that, because it's like, well, it makes me want to write better jokes.
Yeah. And to have a blend of both.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
You don't want to be just one or the other. But then there's great comics who are just kind of one or the other.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's a cool thing.
Right.
There's so much to it. And but yeah, so for me, it's like being better. It wouldn't even matter if other people thought I wasn't better. It's like if we knew, like we both went up and I crushed like consistently harder than him. Dude, I would never let him live it down.
Could he handle it, do you think?
Yeah, he's very confident. He has great self-esteem. There's nothing I could do to undo that. Nothing. But
yeah.
It would be cool. But also, I think I do the same thing for him. Even though he's never like worried about me being better, my opinion is so intense. Like, he doesn't care what other people say. But if I like say like, "Oh, you had a good set," he's like, "Gosh, that means a lot coming from you."
Oh, really?
Well, because I watch him all the time, so I would only say it if he did better than usual.
Yeah. Interesting. But what was it like early on? Was it compliment crazy?
No. He's always, when I met him, he was booking a club in San Diego called the Madhouse. And he never booked me. And it was mostly critique, but never negative. He's very good at, oh look, there's turtles. I can't see them, but there are. He's very good at giving constructive criticism. So it was mostly, things that I needed to hear that maybe other people would have never told me. Just because I think people are worried about giving any kind of criticism to girls because they're not sure how they'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gave me a lot of like critique, and when he was out of town, I would watch all the comics that went up on his shows, and he'd ask me like how they did and want to know like my opinion. So I learned a lot from him in that way. But now it's like, you keep doing it for a while. I've been doing it like 6 years. Now it's like at a point where it's like, if I keep doing this, I could fucking smoke this asshole. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe like 10 years from now. Who's to say?
Yeah.
But he's very competitive too, so it does. I think we both like that about each other.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's cool that it works, I guess. Whatever works.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
But it's interesting because like, you would think in a relationship that most people, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just different if you're doing the same thing.
Well, I do know other comedians who, are have been in comic relationships, and it's not been successful because, like, maybe one started out on top and the other one kind of surpassed them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it might be a bumpy road once you start to pass them up.
Yeah, I guess. But we're both also like happy when the other one succeeds because that means more money for the team.
Right.
So.
And as long as you're both relatively, like, you know, good, or it's still, we're still both good.
Yeah,
but
I don't think
if one of you sucked.
Oh,
like,
yeah, that would be hard.
Brutal.
That would be difficult. I mean, it was hard in the beginning. That's how it felt. I sucked. I fucking, for years, a long time was just, because it's like, I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I like my comedy. And
really?
It takes a long time to get there because you're just so, especially if you like it, you get so critical because you know what is good and you know where you want to be.
Yeah.
And you're so like, I know I can, this is where I want to be, and I know I can be better. And so much of the first 5 years for me was just getting comfortable on stage and getting, like, learning how to write a joke. And that's painful.
Yeah.
The beginning is hard. And then once you get past that, where you're like, oh, I kind of get it and I understand what I'm doing now, then there's like all these other challenges of like, well, how do I make a cohesive set that's like, all these jokes go together and like are one piece, and like you like kind of learn to do that for 5 minutes, and then you're like, well, how do I make material that's like that for 10 minutes, for 20 minutes, and then when I dump all that, like, how do I do it again? Mm-hmm. Horrifying. I don't think it ever gets easy.
You know, I was just watching your you on Kill Tony way back in the day.
Was it the episode 200?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you do, don't watch the episode after that.
Oh, really?
No one ever sees that episode. But, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast now, you know.
Well, this was like a standalone clip, so if that one's not,
okay.
It's going to be hard for me to find.
It's harder to find. Well, also,
but now I'm going to start digging.
Yo, it's the most embarrassing moment of my life. One,
really?
I didn't think I was going to get called 2 weeks in a row. So I didn't like.
That happens so often.
It happens so often.
Yeah.
So like my first one was great because I'd been waiting for like months to get up, and I had my minute. Like, this is the minute I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I had no clue what to do. I was like, why am I being called? And then I'm like, why did I put my name in, you stupid idiot? You don't have a minute that you want to do?
Well, and you got to do another interview and give something else that you didn't talk about the last time.
Oh, yeah. It was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life because it was in just a week between the two. So I was really upset.
Yeah. But we should preface with that the first one, you killed it. Like, that was awesome.
I did have a good set the first one.
You must have felt great after that.
I felt great. It's been hard to live up to that memory. And I try never to look at the video because when I look at it, I'm like, I fucking suck. I can't believe I thought this was good.
No, that's what I wanted to say before when you were talking about not being a good joke writer. Like, you were that was kind of a different style of what you do now, right?
Yeah.
Well, a 1 minute
I was doing
set
more
is different.
jokey. I was doing more jokey jokes, and I've been trying to get away from that.
But you wrote great jokes, and I mean, to have Dave Attell and who was
pretty
the other
cool.
one on there?
It was Ron White and Dave Attell.
Ron White and Dave Attell say that you were doing great.
Dave Attell said he liked my jokes. I was like, well, there's no way I can ever live up to this again. I mean, I should just die.
Yeah.
Just quit comedy now.
Yeah.
1 year in.
All right.
That was also the redeeming thing is if you go on Kill Tony and you have like a good set, the less time you've been doing it means more. And then if you go on and you have a bad set, the more time you've been doing it, it's like,
right.
They'll just tell you to quit. And that's rough.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people lie about how long they've been doing it to kind of.
I heard people do that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But I mean, if you kill it, it doesn't matter how. And a lot of times they like better too. If you're like, if you kill and they're like, I've been doing it for 10 years or something. But no, I'm kind of glad that you told me about. Well, I'm not glad that the second time didn't go well, but I just did Kill Tony for the first time.
How'd it go?
2 weeks ago, and it went well.
Dope.
I mean, yeah, but you know, I felt good about it. I think my set was good. The interview, I don't think I did as well as my set.
Okay. But if you had a good set, then that's okay.
Yeah.
One has to redeem the other if you feel like one, you know?
Yeah. I just don't think I have a lot of interesting stuff to say about myself. Like, you know, they want some story, they want some talent, especially now it's getting even more.
Yeah, it's more about the circus sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't have any circus tricks.
Did you tell them that you do a canoe podcast?
Oh, I tried that and that backfired.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think
that's so interesting.
I know that was my one thing to offer, and I think Tony thought I was like trying to promote my podcast or something. Maybe that's how he saw it. But I don't know. Red Band was asking me about it.
Yeah, I guess Red Band would be more interested because of the schematics of it. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's what he asked. Yeah, about if I ever lost any episodes or anything. But no, I still think it went well. Mm-hmm. But I still need to see it back and see how it looks. But
I got to tell you, watching yourself back in that situation, no matter how good it feels, it's never the same.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say too, is I think the interview went well just because they roasted me so much that like people
that
were
means
laughing.
They liked you. Yeah.
And I was just sitting up there laughing my ass off at Tony and Dave Smith roasting my ass.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. But I thought about, I went and my friend went up too, and he was like, Maddie Stu, shout out to Maddie Stu, he was like, we got to sign up next week. And I was like thinking about it, and I was like, I've been sitting on this minute for a long time, coming and signing up. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to scramble to see what's my next best minute. And I was like, I'm going to wait till I feel really confident in another minute.
Well, because also you have to think about, those jokes, that's like kind of your first, like, I don't know if you've dropped material online at all.
I have a couple specials on Netflix.
You have a couple specials on Netflix?
Yeah.
But if you don't drop material very often, it's like, well, that's out there. That's what people reference. Yeah. So you kind of like, you're not throwing it away. And also when you're young, it doesn't matter. You're going to write so many other jokes. Mm-hmm. But it is kind of like saying, like, this is kind of a minute that I've decided is done in some ways. I'm glad to put on a hat. I might get pooped on.
What?
If the birds might poop on me, I'm glad I wear a hat.
No, bird just pooped right there, literally.
Oh, wow.
So I'm getting over.
I look up and I just on my face.
That'd make for a good clip.
My second, I'm going to just tell people what happened so that they don't look it up and see, like, my disgrace. My second episode, I've killed Tony. Oh, wow, someone else pooped over there. That's crazy. Just be pooping in this lake or river, whatever it is.
No, I think birds try to poop on people sometimes, too. It's like...
dominance.
Yeah, and you get bored as a bird sometimes, so it's fun to poop on a human because they can fly and we can't.
Those assholes. They have it all.
Those birds are scary too. Have you seen them up close? They look like dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, and they'd be killing each other.
Really?
Last year when we moved in, I saw like there were so many bird bodies in my neighborhood, and then you'd hear them attacking each other. Only in the spring. There's a lot of bird-on-bird violence in Austin. I'm trying to get that to catch on. No one seems to care.
That's crazy. It seems like there's so much room for birds to just be birding. But I guess it's
it might
probably
be like an in-between place. Like if you're a bird and you like vacation in Mexico, maybe this is where you stop on your way back north.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's kind of transient birds that are like not worried about the bird police coming after them.
Yep. Gang territories getting crossed up.
Yes.
And that's rough.
It's rough being a bird.
But back to you bombing.
Oh, yeah. So I bombed. Like so bad. I had
nothing. Who was on that one? Do you want to say?
I know exactly who was on it. It's so vivid in my memory. It was Bert Kreischer, who I love.
Yeah.
Great comic.
Yeah.
Cool guy. Very funny. One of the best guys out there right now. Yo, his current hour, insane. I saw him when he came to Austin.
Oh, really?
And he played up at the...
Paramount?
Yeah, there's... No, not at the Paramount. There's this theater right on the campus. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a big, full theater. And they have like some pretty good acts come through. Like Joe Coy was there, I think, last month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen Bert live, and I really want to. Dude. Because he doesn't, like... work out at the comedy. He's just always touring, I feel like.
Well, he was at the Comedy Store a lot when I worked there.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, maybe you'd see him more often in the main room shows, not in the OR.
Yeah.
Because I think I want to say they get paid more in the main room. I'm not sure if that's the reason.
Well, and that's probably more closer to what he's actually performing as.
But he would
the venues.
Come in and do, like a 15 or 30 minute set, depending on the kind of show it was. And he was always great then, but to see him do an hour was so insane. And also all this material I'd never seen before was really fun.
Yeah.
And he's just God, like it gets you excited because I'm not really a storyteller, so I always get excited about people who can do something I can't do.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to watch someone do something that's like, I wouldn't even know how to do this.
Yeah. Well, it's hard as an open micer. How do you start telling stories? Like when can you start being like, hey, I'm going to dedicate this 10, 15-minute set to a story? Like,
I think you got to do it in chunks. Like you start at like the story at 5 minutes and then maybe do another 5 minutes for it. It is hard. But
it's almost like, I think of stories as like closer to putting all of your eggs in one basket to like if you're a minute or two in, like you can probably tell it's like, yeah, they're not.
Well, also you kind of have to have like a slow build. Like Derek tells a lot of stories, and because I've watched him so much, I kind of have more of an idea. They'll be like, there's a little joke, and then that builds on the next joke, which builds on the next joke. So there's all this momentum building. And then the real, like, because also you have to have the laugh at the end of the story be the biggest so that they know that the story's over. That's the tricky part. Because, of course, you can have a bunch of jokes that you string together and they kind of all match.
Yeah.
And you could say it's a story. But what you really need is something
twist.
that brings it together, a big twist, so everyone knows, like, and now the story's over. We all laughed the biggest laugh we're going to laugh about this. But then I've seen people, they tell stories and it doesn't necessarily trail off either. It just sort of it just ends, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something you got to watch a lot of people doing it to get it. Oh, but his hour right now is insane. He does such crazy like mic work, like the things he does with like the chord and stuff. I love that, people who have like really cool physicality with like things on stage. But back to me bombing. I knew that's what you were like. Yeah, he's great, Sam. But how bad were you?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say with storytelling, like, I mean, a lot of the mics I go to and stuff, I'm like, these people aren't gonna listen to me tell a story. They're not gonna like. I always am feeling like I need to make everything tighter and shorter because these people do not give a fuck and they're not listening to me.
You're also performing for comics, so you're kind of like, I want to impress them with this joke.
Yes. Yeah, and to get a story, you got to tell it a bunch of times and really,
It's definitely something that's more of a road project, I think.
Yeah. But someone like Bert, it's hard for me to imagine, like, was he, like, I always think back, like, what were they doing when they first started? They must have been trying to do jokes.
I don't know his exact story. I know he was discovered by Will Smith. I'm pretty sure.
I think I heard. For the movie that they made.
You know, Van Wilder's about him.
Wilder,
yeah.
Because Will Smith produced that or something like that, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
I don't know the exact details.
Yeah,
but he has an interesting like situation. He's not like at the average come up.
He's coming on next, and I'll have him tell the story.
Yeah, you have Bert on. Have him clarify all these.
Should I have
details.
him on? Do you think?
You know what? If anyone was gonna do it, like any like big headliner was gonna get on a canoe with someone to podcast, it'd be Bert.
Yeah, he should steal my idea and just do it himself. That'd be great.
Yeah,
Watching
he would
Bert shirtless out on the canoe.
The Bert Canoe podcast next week. You just said that's what's out now.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how you get there. And also, I think some people are just naturally better at it.
I also feel like older people too. Maybe it's a changing of the times and stuff and the TikTok generation, but a lot of adults, you know, like I think about my dad and older relatives and stuff. Mm-hmm. It seems like storytelling was more appreciated back in the day.
I agree.
I don't know. Or, yeah, people were maybe also better. I don't know.
It's weird.
Young
I will
people
say,
don't tell
and I know that I don't want to like put down womankind, but I will say most of the women are not particularly known for being good at telling stories.
You're here to turn the tide.
I'm here to, so for me, it's like, I really wish I could tell a story to just prove everyone wrong.
Well, I disagree with that.
Well, you just try to I had a woman on and she talked shit about women, but I stood up for you guys. That would actually be the way to do it.
Yeah. No, I think women are better at everything.
Yep.
And yes.
Okay.
That's
that's
the
correct.
end of my thought.
No, I think most people are bad at.
I don't think this generation is as good at telling
But storytelling,
stories.
I mean, most people don't know how to tell a story, and they're not good at it. And there's a lot of people that are bad at listening to stories too, and they're just like, what happened? Like, stop. They can't appreciate a good story. Maybe they can in a comedy club setting.
The attention span is so low.
Attention span, yeah. But back to you bombing.
Back to me bombing, which is a real important story. So Bert Kreischer was the guest. There was another guest, but now I feel bad that I can't remember who it was. I only remember because of Bert because of what was said. So I'm bombing, and I bombed.
Are you telling a story? Don't tell me you told a story.
I was telling no, I wasn't. I made a joke, and I said something about John Goodman that was in a negative way, and I got a lot of shit for that because everyone's like, what do you have against John Goodman?
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, actually, I don't have anything against him. I'm just working out this new bit, and he looks like a dog. I was talking about dogs. I don't know. Oh, wow, there's a pretty bird over there. Let me distract from this bomb. It was a bad joke. It was all bad. It was all bad. And when I was finished, also Jeremiah and all of the band, this is back when they had the band.
I miss them.
Oh, it was the best. Because also, if you were having a bad interview, they made the interview better and more interesting. Right.
Yeah, Jeremiah's so fun.
So Jeremiah and all the band were dressed up like women that day. He was like Susie, feminist or whatever. Yeah. He had a character. And Bert was like, so Tony's giving me critique, and Bert was like, honestly, also, you need to know I was wearing leggings. And he said, honestly, I didn't hear anything she said. I was too busy looking at her ass. And I was like, oh no, my jokes are so bad. My ass looks good. Like in my mind.
Yeah. Well, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it was like, you're just like, damn it. I'm trying so hard to be, I don't know. I think there's I don't think it's as big of a deal now because there's way more women doing comedy, but there is more of this. There was definitely this pressure to be like, well, I gotta be a dude. And even then, I guess there weren't women like that. Maybe that's just my thing. I have all brothers, so there's this sort of like, I have to shed my femininity on stage.
Yeah, what is that?
But
I don't know.
That might be a personal issue. That might not be other things other women are going through.
No, I think it is. I've heard that before, that like, comedy is just the act of trying to like make fun of shit and try to roast people and making jokes. It's like, it leans masculine in a lot of ways, I think.
It leans masculine. And also, I think, it's just previous like generations of like what you kind of expect for women. So you kind of, it's like you see the same thing in other masculine things. Like female CEOs are definitely trying to be more masculine in ways.
Yeah.
So it's probably some of that, like, and that doesn't make you any better. It's just, I think, an insecurity thing of.
So do you still try to do that, or you?
Well, I definitely don't wear leggings on stage anymore. Haven't worn leggings on stage since that day. This is the end of leggings on stage.
You got to do a redemption. Get out there and killing leggings.
Got to get out there and killing leggings. I definitely wear more form-fitting clothes now than there was like a year or two where I was just like in big sweaters and like baggy pants after that, where I was like, no one can know that I don't have a penis. And I've kind of gotten over that. I'm like, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I couldn't imagine doing something where it's like mostly girls doing it. That would be intimidating for me.
I don't know. I think it's both sides. There's both sides to it, because it's like there's some ways you're like celebrated because you're a woman, because they're like there's not as many of you.
Yeah.
But I'm sure also like a lot of the things that are intimidating are like more things of like, well, what do people think? Like not things actually people are saying, but what you're afraid they're thinking because of your own preconceived notions.
Yeah, that's what it is most of the time anyways. It's like, yeah, we think so much about what other people are and most of the time people aren't even thinking.
They're not even thinking about you.
They're thinking about themselves.
100%.
No one gives a shit. As long as you make them laugh.
But yeah, I bombed really hard that day.
Yeah, and did they say?
They said it was terrible.
Oh, really?
You know what else was it was just one of those, they were at the time they were looking for a new
I gotta get away from
like
these.
Kill Tony person.
Oh, and so you thought you were gonna be the new regular?
No, I didn't think I was gonna be the new regular, but in retrospect, I wonder if I got pulled again because they're like, well, can she do it 2 weeks in a row? And I wasn't ready for that. So that's part of the problem. It's just I wasn't there. I hadn't been doing it that long. I wasn't turning over that much material at a time.
Yeah.
And in LA, it was so hard to get up on an open mic. Like, people here complain about not being able to get up on mics, and it's like, at least there are mics to get up on.
Yeah.
Like LA, you had to either pay to get up.
Oh, yeah.
Or, hope your name got pulled from a bucket, which is like you could spend hours at a mic and not even get up.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think about it all the time. I'm like, if I started in LA, would I have stuck with comedy? And I haven't been doing it that long, but I don't know. I think it would just eat me up to pay for mics every time, just like the principle of it. And like,
it's awful.
Especially you go up and you bomb and you're like, wait, what's going on?
Well, also you're set up to fail because everyone else that's watching you has also paid to get up. So they don't give a shit about yours.
No.
It's not even like here, you're like excited to see your friends go up because you're like, oh, what's their new joke?
Yeah.
A lot of times at these paid mics, they're just like, hey, I'm here to get my $5 worth.
Right. Yeah, I think the community here, the scene is like, there's a lot of good things about it. In Austin,
it's a good scene because it still has a very small scene mentality, and that everyone knows each other. Yeah. But it has big scene numbers, so it kind of affords it more opportunities. Like, there's more shows because there's more people.
And it's just gonna keep getting bigger.
It's just gonna keep getting bigger.
Rogan opened his club and Cap City's open up next month, I think.
Yeah, I think a year from now it'll be more big scene vibes. Like, fewer. It won't be. You don't know everyone anymore. Like, even now, I mean, I'm not out all the time at mics, but every time I go to a mic, there's like at least 5 people I don't know there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I meet new people
all the time. New people.
Yeah, it's crazy. But then I hear people talking about doing it in LA or New York, and that there's like 100,000.
Oh, it's crazy.
There's like so many people.
And there's people that'll be there for years that you never ran into because you don't go to that side of the city because the city's so big. You just stick to the mics in your area.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, are you glad that... How long did you do it in San Diego?
Only a year.
A year? Are you glad that you started there?
Yeah. I actually first tried stand-up when I was living in New Zealand as a nanny.
Did you go there through college?
No, I graduated. I worked a year, had like a little like, what am I doing with my life moment? And quit my job and took a job nannying in Australia. Did that for a year. Then went to New Zealand.
Were you thinking about comedy up until that point ever?
No, never thought about doing stand-up. I thought about doing like improv, like SNL type stuff for a while. But... Because
you were a theater actor or something, right?
I did like musical theater.
Musicals.
Growing up. Yeah. And like some stuff in college. I was in all the Vagina Monologues. Don't want to brag.
What is that?
Oh, you don't know about the Vagina Monologues?
I mean, I remember...
Dude, you missed out.
I remember at my college, there was like a poster, or there was a girl, somebody was like in a big vagina costume going around trying to promote the Vagina Monologues.
Awesome.
I didn't know what it was.
So the Vagina Monologues...
I ran away.
I want to say the lady who wrote them, I'm going to throw out a name here. I'm probably wrong. I want to say it's Eve Ensler. I might not be right.
No, it is.
It is? Okay. Yes, he confirmed it. Fact checked. Thank you, Jamie. It was a bunch of monologues, and they're all kind of like, woman friendly. Some of them are actually like sexual or like about like sex workers. Some of them are about like, freeing yourself sexually. And then others are like have nothing to do with sex whatsoever. They're just about being a woman. But it's like a big feminist thing, and most colleges do like a production every year. And there's different monologues that get added every year.
It's all women?
All women. I'm sure now there's people who are trans or like queer doing it as well, like people who identify as fluid, as liquid.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah. Fluid. Maybe I'll do it on the canoe.
You should.
I'll do my own rendition.
Do a couple of readings.
Yeah. So it wasn't all that.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't like, it's not a big deal. You don't even have to technically memorize your monologue for the performance. Some people would read them. But I was like really big into like feminism and non-for-profits and like promoting like, you know, you should be able to kill your baby, you know, stuff like that. That was my thing.
I love killing babies.
Let's go do it. Yeah. I will drive you to Planned Parenthood. It's
Did you
free.
do that?
Did I drive anyone to Planned Parenthood? No, I didn't do that. I told my friend I would, but then she told her parents already she was pregnant, and she was like, I can't do that now. And I was like, that's fair. If I told my parents, I wouldn't want to go to Planned Parenthood after that.
So she was going to have an abortion, then she told her parents, and her parents were like, yeah, you can't have an abortion?
No, I think her parents said they were going to help her with the baby, and so that made her feel better. But it worked out for her. She's still with the guy, and she has 2 kids now. She's still with the baby? She's still with the baby.
That's great. Yeah, I've always said the best time to have a baby is when you don't see it coming or when you don't want it.
Best time. Surprise, baby.
Yeah. Or the other best time is when you're like in a relationship that's not really working out.
Oh, and then like you have that person with you forever. Yes. Yeah. Best time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my plan.
Another good time to have a baby is when like the baby daddy's like about to go to prison or something like that. Yeah. Great time. Yes. Good timing.
Yeah. I've never thought about this, but do women have babies in prison sometimes?
I'm sure they do.
That's crazy.
I think someone did in Orange. Have you watched the show Orange is the New Black?
Never seen it.
Oh, it was like a Netflix show.
I know what it is, yeah.
I think there was a character that was pregnant, I want to say.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Yeah, there definitely was a character that was pregnant.
And then they just, you have the kid and they take it away, right? Or I guess you get some time with it. And
I think they take it away.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That would suck.
For who?
Probably for the person who got the baby taken away. You're like, I thought this was my ticket out of here.
Yeah, that should be a get out of jail free card.
I gotta go take care of this baby. And you're like, no, we're just gonna put it in the system, and then one day it'll end up in here just like you.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is so negative.
Good old prison babies. I just never thought about it, but could be fun.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about? Musicals. How did we get over to prison babies? Oh yeah,
we were talking about the Vagina Monologues.
And the Vagina Monologues. And you were taking people to go kill their babies.
That was like my dream. I wanted to be the person that took you to kill your baby.
Yeah.
And then I would fight the people outside the Planned Parenthood, who were like, your baby has fingernails. And I'd be like, no, it doesn't. Liar!
Oh, is that one of the things they say?
That's one of the things they say.
It has fingernails?
And they say a lot of stuff.
I mean, is that what's going to get me to not have an abortion? Oh, I didn't think about the fingernails.
I didn't think about the fingernails.
Good point. Your turn. But you were mostly doing musicals. That Vagina Monologues, not a musical.
No, it's a straight play.
Yeah. You're a great singer, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just started singing in my act.
Oh, really?
I never used to do that.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was like, why don't you sing in your act?
Well, I sing in my act a couple times now, but I used to be really against it because, comics, you're so critical of everyone, and there's so much hate towards prop comedy or gimmick comedy.
Yeah.
And so I was really I don't want to be the person that sings in their act.
No, that shit is stupid. It's just, if it's funny and you like doing it, who gives a shit? I mean, people say that about Bert Kreischer, who you like, that him taking his shirt off is a gimmick.
It is a gimmick, but it's super dope.
But whatever. He likes to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna just do? It. One of my favorite comics, Eric Griffin, he sings on stage.
He does sing on stage,
and I love it.
He kills. He's got a great voice.
Yeah. So, that makes you stand out in a way, and it makes. It's fun. I know, even before I was doing comedy, when I watched and saw Eric Griffin, that stuck with me. I remembered it.
Did you see him at the store?
Yeah.
Was it back when he was doing that like Law and Order SVU thing, and he would dun, dun, choo,
Oh
doo,
yes,
doo.
yes, yeah.
You seen him do that?
Was
That's really funny.
And then there was something. I'm so bad at remembering, but it was something like Disney. It might have been like Beauty and the Beast or something like that.
Oh yeah, he does do a Disney song. It's either Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
but
does.
That made me crack up so much. I can't remember what it was.
I like it. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
And the trick is, and this is how you get other comedians not to make fun of you, because I think that is the biggest fear of all comedians. It's like, I don't want other comedians to make fun of me, because there's nothing you can do about that. You have to just take it, you know? Because it's like, if you're like, get mad, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And then also it's like, you can either make fun of them back, but then you have to hope that you're a better roaster, which is not my forte.
Wait, so this would be like after the show, they come up to you and say,
no, it's more like you're like your real friends.
Yeah.
Like you're like your real friends who are like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you how I really feel about your act.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But no, the trick is you can't just do whatever it is to do it. You have to have like a legitimate joke, and the joke can only work if you do the gimmick. And then they will accept that. But if it's like you could do the joke and not use the gimmick, then it's like, well, you're just doing this so that you can show off that you can sing. Or if you do the joke and there is no joke and you're just singing, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. And that does, I mean, maybe it's from doing comedy that I think about it, but it did put me off when I was watching somebody and they were doing this. Yeah, I don't know, because it's harder to watch somebody perform more and bomb. Like, the more performance you put into it and it bombs, like, it's much easier to bomb just standing there. I would think.
Dude, when you do like a really big act out and it doesn't hit,
that's rough.
It's a whole different kind of pain.
Yeah. That's what I think about these like talent shows like America's Got Talent and stuff. You see somebody doing trapeze artist, or they're, doing some crazy shit, and then they're done with their performance and they say, nah, you suck.
I can imagine that.
That must suck.
At least they don't have to get people to laugh.
Yeah, that's true. But is that what? What about getting people to laugh when you don't want them to laugh? that hurts.
Ooh, yeah.
Like they're trying not to make people laugh, but they might. I don't know. Maybe that's a transition into comedy.
Maybe it is. Have you ever had one of those sets where it's like you're bombing and then there's like a comic in the back just dying and laughing? Or like one of your friends? Those are the worst bombs. Where you're like, wow, they're not laughing, but this person who knows me thinks this is so funny that I'm bombing.
Maybe I need to get around more people, more real people who will fucking laugh at my downfall.
You'll get there.
I feel like I also cancel out the
the excess noise.
Yeah, I don't know. Or friends, maybe, in my head.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably the best thing to do.
I've definitely been on the other end though. I've laughed my ass off when one of my friends.
There's no better feeling than watching a friend bomb. Ah, dude.
And it would be funnier if they were up there singing or some shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, watch any of my friends do an act out and it doesn't hit. It's like, this is why I watch you do comedy. For these moments. I live for this.
Shit. Yeah. But you're singing now. You're doing it.
I'm doing it. I got over the fear.
Do you want to sing a song?
What kind of song do you want me to sing? I don't know if I want to sing like this format. You're putting me on the spot. I was expecting this.
Yeah, I wasn't either. I'm definitely not expecting you to say yes.
Also, part of it was getting over the fear of singing in public.
Yeah.
It was way scarier, the idea of singing on stage than... Well, I guess I hadn't sung in a long time.
Yeah.
On stage. So, I don't think I want to sing right now. There's too many people on the ocean, on the water, and we've talked too much about this. I think I'm just going to jump off.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
Under the sea. Under the sea. I like doing also voices of people.
Yeah.
I do a Cher impression.
Oh, let's hear it.
Do you like Cher? You're not even gonna know if I'm doing it right. See this? I can't do this.
Cher. I don't even.
You don't even know who Cher is.
No, I know who she is, but I'm trying to think. What's her big hit?
Well, how old are you? You're 24.
Yeah.
Damn, you probably weren't even alive for this song.
How old are you?
I'm 31. And by alive, I mean you weren't like old enough to remember.
No, I know her hit. I just can't think of it. It's like a dancey.
Do you believe in life after love?
Yeah.
I normally do if I do it on stage, because every once in a while someone will mention that my Cher impression, and then I feel the need to just do Cher. I do the, if I could turn back time. She's like a mix between a woman and a man, but she's a woman.
God is a woman.
God is a woman.
Yeah, Cher. Never got too into Cher, but people love her. She's an icon.
She's an icon.
Yeah.
She had a variety show.
I mean, the one name thing, that's when you know you got it. I mean, once you can take the Lopez off and you're just Sam.
Christina P is so close.
Yeah.
Because you have it down to a letter, and then it's just a matter of time before you dump the letter, and you're like, I'm just Christina.
The last letter's the hardest. That's what they say.
The last letter.
But it's also, Christina it's a more common name, so that's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. You have to have a kind of
Because like
specific name.
outside of comedy, if you said Christina, who do you think of?
Aguilera.
Yeah, that's what I would think of. And Cher was probably, she's the only Cher.
She's the only Cher.
And like Madonna.
Well, that's not even her name. I can't remember what her real name is.
Yeah, you could make up a name and then you could be that.
And then there's Beyonce. That's actually her name.
Right. Beyonce.
Tricky.
Do you like your name?
I do like my name. I feel like it's easy for people to remember.
Yeah.
So that I like.
Do you like that it could be a boy's name?
I love that. That's the best thing about my name. I've always liked that.
Because you get to, what does that do for you?
It just gets me excited. Because people never know. They're like, oh my God, you're a girl. Well, not as much anymore because there's more female Sams now.
Yeah, that's why my girlfriend's name is Grayson and everyone thinks it's a boy.
Yeah, I've never met a Lady Grayson.
Yeah.
Lady Grayson.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, oh, that's dope. I was Samantha. My family still calls me Samantha. And I actually, when I speak about myself in the third person, I normally call myself Samantha.
Can I call you Samantha?
Yeah, you can call me. Just don't call me Sammy. That sounds like a cheerleader's name.
Sammy.
And my mom wouldn't let me be a cheerleader, so I don't feel like I can.
She wouldn't let you?
Yeah, she said it wasn't a real sport. So I played soccer instead.
So what? Well,
actually, soccer was pretty dope. I'm glad she was so negative.
Yeah, but I think the problem with cheerleading, it gets lumped in with sports. But if it was lumped in with like arts, which it's more close to maybe, then...
It feels more like art, but I guess also it's like, well, is gymnastics art or a sport?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, golf's a sport and you barely do anything.
I think they do some stuff. They
do.
walk a lot.
They take the golf cart.
Yeah, they do take the golf cart. You're right.
I'm
thinking about poor golfers who can't afford a golf cart.
Yeah. But cheer, you do more movement than golf. You're doing pyramids and...
Well, also, there's interesting diversion now because there's cheer and then there's like the dance squad.
Yeah.
We went to one of the UT basketball games last week, and they had the cheerleaders, and then they had the dance squad. And I wondered if there was like some like street beef between the two.
Oh, I bet.
I hope so. I can only imagine that. That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Well, the cheerleaders are also much smaller than the dance squad because they're all like the ones that can get thrown in the air.
Right, unless you're a base.
Unless you're a base, but they only had male bases.
Oh.
It was very confusing, actually. So I guess maybe all the bases were like, fuck this, I deserve to be a star too, and then they created the dance squad. That's my theory.
Oh. You should make this a feature film.
I should.
I'd watch that.
It sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you could have catfight in it, which, then you sell the male audience.
Catfight.
I'm all about bringing people together. Like, how do we get the women and the men to want to watch the same thing?
That's what it's all about. Bring the world closer together. You ever been in a fight?
I almost was in a fight. I was so close. Oh my gosh. I would have totally gotten hurt too. I would have died.
Oh.
I was in high school. I was kind of the teacher's pet. So I was taking roll because he wasn't in the class, and he asked me to take roll.
The teacher wasn't?
Yeah, he was like talking to another teacher, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind taking a roll for me?" And I was like, "Fine."
Were you goody two shoes?
No, I just really liked English. That was my favorite class, and so I liked him. And he was also like one of those cool English teachers who was like, "Hey, today instead of dissecting a regular poem, we're gonna dissect a Beatles song." Yeah.
Edgy.
Yes, so edgy. So I was taking roll, and there was this girl in our class, and she was huge, like big in all ways, like muscular
Base?
and fat. Like, no, she could never. She was huge. They would not have let her on the cheer team. I don't want to be like, sizist or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
But she was, and it wasn't just because she was like heavy set. She was just a big girl. And she was also a very scary girl. Like, she was one of those girls that like hung out outside of school and smoked weed, like,
Whoa.
and cigarettes. Both of them.
At the same time?
At the same time. Had both.
Damn.
Like, badass.
That's cool.
And I called her name, and I can't remember what she said to me. She didn't.
What, bitch?
No, she didn't call me a bitch. She called me girl or something.
Oh.
And I was like,
I'm not a girl.
I was like, call me by my name, bitch.
Oh.
Or something like that. And she's like, what
class?
did you say to me? Yeah, in front of the whole class. And she says, what did you say to me? And I went up to her, and she's huge. She's like tall and big, And I'm looking in her face, like up in the air, and I'm like, call me by my name, bitch. And then she pushed me across the room. And I was like, this is when I die. I was like, I can't believe this is the hill I'm going to die on. I'm here to die. And I was lucky because there was a guy in the class that was friends with my boyfriend at the time. And he was also smaller than her, but he got in between us and stopped it. Or I would have totally died. But I was so close to like risking my life for just,
But you didn't back down. You were ready. You were going to.
I am feisty. That is what I've been told.
Yeah. Wow.
It was exciting. Have you ever been in a fight?
No.
No.
I mean.
You have the height to be in a fight. You have the long wingspan. You can get at them.
I guess, but I'm a weenie. I'm not tough. I'm scaredy cat.
You have a very lover, not a fighter vibe.
Not even. Just not just get away. Just don't want to
You're just
deal
afraid?
with any of it. Yeah. I don't want to fight you, love you, or anything. I just want to be away from it.
I want nothing.
No, I can't believe. I feel like I should get in a fight. I feel like that would toughen me up. I feel like I need some. Like, I feel like I want to get punched in the face so I can, like.
It's too late now. You're too
You
old
think
to get
so?
in a fight. Now you could go to jail for something like that. You missed the chance.
No, I mean, we're not going to use
The canoe
guns.
has sailed.
We're not going to use guns or knives, but I just think I need the experience of getting my ass beat, I think.
You should have your girlfriend punch you in the face. Grayson should do it.
She wouldn't.
Is she too short?
She's just too nice. She just couldn't do it.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean.
Because see, now, even if you get in like a fist fight, the chances of you like getting in trouble for assault and then being tried as an adult, it's just not.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, man. Because also you don't know these people. Also, you don't know who's got a gun on them here. We're in Texas.
Oh yeah, I think about that all the time. Do you have a gun?
No.
Yeah. Why not?
Well.
It's in the bag.
It's in the bag, actually. I have a small pistol. Is that what the small ones are? I don't know.
Small pistol.
I have a knife, not on me.
Whoa.
Who gave us a knife? Someone gave us a knife. It was one day I was working at Creek and I was like, I can't believe you guys all had knives. And every guy that was there pulled out their knife, and I was like, everyone has a knife. And I think it was someone gave me a knife. It was either like Yoni or.
I know Dean carries a knife.
Dean might have given me a knife. It was someone like that. Someone who you'd be like, I expect this person to have knives on them and like extra knives to give away.
Dean came on here, he had a bag just like that, and he had a gun and a knife in there.
Of course he did. He's always prepared. If you have a mullet, you have to be prepared for a fight. People want to fight people with mullets.
Yeah. Yeah, you usually can tell who would probably have a gun.
But no, you should get a gun. I'd recommend it.
You have a gun?
No. But I want one.
Why don't you have one?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think...
What kind of gun would you get?
I mean, I want several, I think. I think I would have my home guns, which are my big boys.
The ones you put on the wall?
The ones I put on the wall.
You're showing
next
off?
to the, you know, what's it called when you stuff animals?
What?
When you stuff animals that you've killed? Taxidermy.
Oh, yeah, taxidermy, yeah.
Yeah. On the wall with my boar head and my lion head and all the stuff I've killed.
Gosh, what are you going into like people's backyards and killing their personal tigers?
Tigers. No, I don't have any guns. I don't know what I would do with a gun.
Have you ever shot a gun?
I don't even think I've shot a gun.
How do you not remember? You said it like you've never like.
Because I know
I shot a gun.
No, I know I've shot like a BB gun, but that doesn't count.
That's more than I have.
I killed a rabbit with a BB gun once.
Wow, you
And
killed a rabbit.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. It when you take another man's life, it's like it's a lot.
Especially like
you
a
carry
cute
that weight
man.
forever.
Yeah. Dude.
It was weird. I don't know why.
Why did you kill it? Did it do something? Did it call you the N-word?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't say shit. Like, it was
Wow.
a completely innocent, minding its own bunny business. And my friend, like family friend, they have like a farm ranch type place, and we were out there, and they're growing crops and stuff, so they were like, they would just go around killing squirrels and stuff because they're eating their stuff. And so they're like, yeah, we have these BB guns if you want to go shoot gophers and rabbits and stuff. And I was like, I had the thought, I was like, oh, I always wanted a lucky rabbit's foot. So I shot a rabbit and I cut the foot off.
So you have that foot?
I think maybe somewhere. I should look for it.
Wow, I can't believe you got this lucky rabbit's foot and you just immediately lost it. Like,
I definitely carried
the
it
life
around.
of this rabbit didn't matter to you at all.
In high school, I carried it around probably for like a year.
Okay.
And then one day I like took it out when I was like, yeah, I have a rabbit's foot. And the looks I got were like, you're fucking weird, dude.
Well, yeah, you're in California.
Yeah.
They would judge you.
But even, that's just a weird, like here in Texas, if I had a rabbit's foot, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong?
No.
You're a little weird.
It's a little weird, but here I think people would be like, yeah, rabbit's foots are lucky. Duh.
Yeah.
You gonna just kill a rabbit and not take its foot? What a waste of life.
But you don't think about like if you held it, it's actually a foot. Like it has the nail, like the bone is off there. It's like
Does it have those tiny little like soft pads on its little? Oh.
Maybe I should start carrying it around.
Yeah, you should.
Get some better
Don't show
luck.
it to people, but keep it for luck. They're supposed to be really lucky.
I feel like, what about a necklace? Would that be a cool gimmick? If I had a
Ooh,
necklace.
yeah, just have a rabbit's foot. Well, I think if you do that, then you have to go all the way. Like you got to get the like Davy Crockett like beaver thing.
Or maybe change my name to Rabbitfoot.
Ooh, people would think you were Native American. You get booked on more shows for diversity.
Definitely. Yeah. Neither of us have guns. Never shot a gun. You shot a gun?
Never shot a gun.
Well, I guess I have shot a gun.
You've shot a gun. I've never shot a gun. I thought about it.
Yeah.
It scares me. I'm afraid of all that power. Because I'm kind of an addictive personality. I think if I got into guns, I would really get into guns.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you're really into besides comedy?
I used to be really into weed, and then I had to be not really into weed.
You were like
I was like, this is going too far, man.
But you knew all your strands.
Oh,
you
yeah.
were did you work at a weed shop ever or anything like that?
No. I just thought it was a cool thing to be into because I was smoking a lot, and it was fun to like, it's like coffee or something, or wine, you know? It's cool to know like what you're consuming.
Wake and bake. Get your toke, start your day off right. So you had all the accessories. You got a bong, you got a piece.
The bong, the piece. I know where my stuff comes from. But now, what am I into now? Really into...
So do you not smoke weed anymore, or you still do?
I quit like 3 months ago. I was trying to get to 90 days, and I did that. And now I want to get to a year because I did the same thing with alcohol like 5 years ago, and now I can consume alcohol and be reasonable about it. And I'm like, I think if I take a year or so off, I could maybe consume weed and be reasonable.
Yeah.
But I have a tendency to overdo things.
What are the negatives to smoking weed all the time?
You lose a lot of time. That's really all.
Just doing
it's
what?
bad on your teeth too.
Watching TV.
Watching TV, or I'll just be on my phone, or I'll
Yeah.
just literally sit there and just stare off into the distance. That's a lot of time.
But do you think of funny stuff? Think of jokes?
Sometimes. Honestly, I was smoking the most when I first started doing comedy, and it was hard. It made it harder to get good. But in retrospect, now that I'm sober, it's like I've like taken those weights off my ankles, and now I feel like I'm better because I'm not stoned all the time. But maybe, I don't know, that might be just be in my head.
Yeah.
But now if I smoke when they go on stage, I would be a fucking idiot. Because if ever I take like a break and then I try to smoke and do comedy, then I'm like, I'm so afraid.
Yeah.
Anxiety, fear. Oh yeah, anxiety is a big problem for people when they smoke too much.
Would you smoke before you went on stage, like all the time?
For a long time. In San Diego scene, everyone was smoking. You go, like, there's always this mic at the Madhouse every night of the week. And it was the latest mic. And so if you hadn't smoked before you got there, you probably smoked while you were there because it was just a long wait.
Yeah.
You know, like, I guess how people go to Buzzmill, like it's a late mic, you know?
Yeah.
And so you go and you sign up and then you see where you were. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go get high with all these people in this circle over here until it's time to go on.
Were there any benefits to like?
For me, and not everyone has
made
this.
you not as nervous?
No. Well, no. I mean, comedy benefits or like.
But yeah,
regular?
anything.
Well, for me,
I was thinking comedy, but anything.
It boosts my metabolism. Like, if I'm smoking, I'll like lose like 10 pounds.
Yeah, I feel like people, it's reversed, maybe.
Well, that's because they eat a lot. They get
the
munchies. But this is the thing. You smoke more when you have the munchies, and then you forget that you're hungry.
Whoa.
Yo.
Life hack.
Life hack. I told this to people before. People are like, how did you lose so much weight? And I'm like, I just got so high, I forgot I was hungry.
You forgot hungry even existed.
You forget it even exists. You're like, I'm having such a good time. Who even needs food?
Damn. So you would go deep.
I would go really deep.
You get high as fuck.
I would get really high.
Yeah.
But I don't really miss it.
Oh, really?
Nah.
But didn't it like provide an escape sometimes? Like when you're stressed out or things like aren't going your way, didn't you? Was it nice? Was that why you would smoke? You did,
that's why I did
escape?
it. And that's kind of why I needed to stop, because now it's like I work out all the time, or I swim more because I like to swim. And I read more.
What's
I wasn't
your stroke?
reading it all. I do this one. I don't know the
Freestyle?
names of the strokes. Yeah, I do this and I do this.
Butterfly?
And I also will do a couple like where I tread across the lane. I'll tread water across.
Yeah. Doggy paddle?
I will doggy paddle. No, but I mean like with my hands up, and then I like just my legs and I go across the lane.
That's like
I'm
military
really into
shit.
it. It's super fun.
Yeah.
And it's just me and a bunch of old people. You know, it's a lot of old people who
Do you have a
swim
crew?
laps. I mean, I don't know their names, but they go at the same time as me to the pool.
You say what's up?
Sometimes.
Not like your neighbor. What's her name? Stacy?
Tiana. Like the princess. But no, I don't normally talk to them. They're just so old, and they're way better than me. All the old people are way better swimmers than I could ever be. They've been swimming for the last like 55 years.
Damn.
And so I'm really just jealous of them. That's the honest to God truth.
Swimming's supposed to be really good.
Oh, it's so dope.
I'm gonna start swimming.
You should swim.
There's a dude who swims in here. I see him sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's way better when you're outside and like in the nature, because then you're like connecting instead of just in like a tub of chlorine.
Yeah, when I went to school in Santa Barbara, I used to swim in the ocean every day, and it was like, whoa, that was like the best. Every morning I'd wake up and go swim in the ocean.
That's a dream.
I miss it.
You don't smoke weed? You're from California.
No, It
blows my mind, honestly.
What?
It blows my mind, honestly.
Yeah, growing up, and like the way I am or my personality, people would always be like, you seem high, or like they would think that I smoked. But no, I never smoked. I smoked from a bong. I took my first bong hit like Thanksgiving.
This past Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Ever?
Ever.
Is this the first time you smoked ever, or like just in general?
That was my first time smoking, but marijuana consumption, I had taken some edibles starting. My first edible was summer of 2020.
Wow.
So it's all very new to me. But I hated the bong hit. That sucked.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot all at once.
Yeah, I like never did anything, and then I don't know if it was COVID or whatever, but then I tried weed and I tried shrooms, and
Shrooms are dope.
yeah, that was kind of cool for a little bit.
I like shrooms because it's not something you like want to do every day.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was a big experience, and like my head hurt the next day.
Did you do it inside, or did you go somewhere in nature?
Well, that was the problem. It was good when I was outside, and then the sun set at the beach. It was so beautiful.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
hearing angel choirs. I was like, it was awesome.
That's dope. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I was like in heaven. And then the sun set, and then it started getting literally dark, and then in my mind it started getting dark.
You got
And
scared.
then we went back to our Airbnb that we were staying at, and we were inside, and I felt like I was in a prison or something.
Was it you and Grayson, or was it with a friend?
Yeah, it was me, Grayson, and my friend.
Okay.
It's funny. This is actually what we ended up talking about on Kill Tony.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
And I probably shared more than I wanted to, but it's fine. I don't know.
Oh, dude. Shrooms are dope. First time
Yeah.
I did it, we went to Muir Woods up in
Nice.
San Francisco and saw the
Yeah.
big trees. It was so cool. Yeah, you got to do it outside. I did it once inside. It was still fun, but not as fun.
Yeah.
It's all about nature.
Yeah, it's all about nature. That's why we're out here right now.
Yeah.
Even, I don't know. I feel like COVID times I was so much indoors and stuff. I don't know. Lately, I just really want to be outside way more. I hate being inside.
Well, this is such a good city to get out in. There's things to do.
Even it wasn't even cold for that long here, but I was like, I want it to be summer. I miss summer.
Yeah, that week of freezing weather last week, I was so mad.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's nothing compared to you're from Baltimore?
Yeah, I'm from Maryland.
I mean, it
gets
snows
cold.
there and stuff,
It
right?
gets
It gets
snows.
cold, gray.
Yeah, but there's enough summer. It's not like New England where they only
it's
have
not.
3 months of summer. You get about, by late April it's already nice, 75 degrees,
Yeah.
and it'll stay
That's not
warm
too
through
bad.
September
It gets
and a
humid.
little bit of October.
Does it get humid there?
It's very humid.
Yeah.
It's like how it is here, humid,
Yeah.
in the summer. But I like that better than California, the dry.
Oh,
'cause
really?
The humidity, you never have to worry about chapped lips or dry skin, and I like
That's
sweating when I'm working out. It makes me feel like I'm doing real work.
Oh, when it's humid, you'll walk outside and you're working out.
Exactly.
Just being out there.
Immediately, you're like, yes, this was
Yeah.
worth it. I don't know. Do you mind the humidity? Because you grew up.
Oh,
with
I
it.
hate it. I
Yeah,
mean,
of
this
course you do.
summer, I was like, it was so tough for me this summer. I was like, why can't it be cold?
Why can't it be cold?
Yeah, and there's people who are from, I've talked to some people from Houston or they're like, oh, there's no humidity here in Austin. I was like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
there is.
Yeah, there's definitely humidity here. This is a very humid. What are the?
I've heard several people tell me that it's not humid here.
It must be much more humid in Houston, or like Florida humid, I guess.
Yeah.
This is about as humid as it gets in Maryland, how it is here.
Yeah.
So I was very used to it. Although this is probably the best time of the year, I feel like.
Oh, yeah,
Spring
this
and
is
the fall
awesome.
here.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say weed too. The first time I did an edible, it was almost like shrooms. I was so high. I mean, it wasn't
Edibles
all the
will
way there.
do that to you.
But I was like, yeah, it fucked me up.
When I came back from being abroad, because it was harder to get weed in Australia and New Zealand, they're a little stricter.
Oh really?
And I just didn't know the people,
Yeah.
So,
What do they do out there? A lot of coke?
yeah, there's a lot of Coke. Everyone drinks. And I think they're so good at drinking. Every other country thinks they're the best at drinking. And it's that's not something to be proud of.
That's weird.
But
That's funny.
when I came back, I landed in LA, and my cousin lives in LA, and he is like, I'm going to take you to get weed because you haven't smoked in 2 years. And yo,
got high as fuck.
we got so high because it was the first time I like had California weed, because I'd always had weed like from Maryland, which is all like middies if you're lucky.
Boof, straight boof.
Yeah, just boo. And it was like, you know, real like medical grade, and we also took edibles, and I got so high. I remember we were with his girlfriend, and we went to her apartment, and I just had to get on the ground and just be on the floor to feel like safe. It's like, I need this.
That's funny.
Stay down there for a while.
Yeah. But so the goal is that eventually you'll be able to consume weed like a normal person?
Yeah, that's the goal, is to get to a place where it's like, if I'm in a circle, I can have a few tokes and feel like that was enough.
Yeah.
But I am very like, and I'm with this with a lot of things, like food, alcohol, anything. I'm very like, ooh, are we going to do this? Because I'm going to go all the way.
Yeah.
So I try to like be conscious.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that you can be aware of these things and like cut it off if it starts to become a problem, I guess.
It's part of life, man. Understanding, becoming whole.
Yeah.
The middle path.
Oh, and I was going to say too, exercising is like its own drug.
Oh, yeah.
If you can lock into that.
I love exercising, and then I work out at the UT campus, and they have like a sauna and a hot tub, so I like indulge. That's how I like, oh, this is my relaxation time.
That's so nice.
It's so nice.
I wanted to ask you about working at the Comedy Store.
Oh, it's dope. It was dope.
I mean, wasn't that like a goal of yours for a while?
It was. Well, Derek and I moved to Los Angeles from San Diego in the end of 2016, and he had gotten a job at the Comedy Store because he had been going up, and you're kind of like when you get up on the mic at the Comedy Store, you know, the big one, the Monday potluck.
Yeah.
That's sort of like an audition because Adam watches the whole mic. Adam Eget.
Yeah.
And he'd been going up and had gotten up a bunch of times, and you sort of work your way up the mic. Like when you first sign up, normally the first time, if you get a spot, the first spot you're going to get is going to be in the first 5 people. But as you keep going up, like the door guys will organize it so that the better comics go up towards the end of the mic. So the goal is to get to like be the 15th person on the mic or in the last 5. That's how you know that you're, because sometimes Adam misses the first couple. So that's why going up later on, there's only 15 spots. So going up in the last 5 is like a big deal. And so he'd been doing that for a while, and Adam had seen him a bunch. And I think when they needed a new door guy, the door guys had suggested him. And so I think he came up again for another audition, and they gave him the job.
It's so crazy that your whole crew of friends and stuff has started doing comedy in San Diego, it seems like.
So many of us.
That's like
Hassan, Brian Simpson,
Jeffrey,
Dylan Sullivan.
Dylan started in L.A.
Oh.
We met him there.
Matt Lockwood.
Matt Lockwood. You know Matt Lockwood?
I know who he is. I don't know
him. He's so funny. He's still at the store. Who else came up with us? There were a bunch of us.
Was Ari Manis?
No, Ari was in L.A. We have another friend, Trey Stewart. He wasn't in San Diego, but he was kind of ours. He would come to San Diego every weekend to get up because you could get up more there.
Yeah.
So you would see him in San Diego all the time. If you didn't know any better, you thought he lived there.
Yeah.
But he was living in L.A.
So that was a good place to start, you feel like?
Oh, it was a great place to start. There's so much time. Not nearly as many comedians as there are here, but probably almost as many shows. You had 3 clubs. You had the Madhouse. You had the American Comedy Club. And those were like right down the street from each other. And then actually 4 clubs. We had the Madhouse, American Comedy Club, the Palace, which was about 20 minutes outside of town, and the Comedy Store La Jolla. And that was another way people got in. Like if you were a door guy at the Comedy Store La Jolla, that kind of gave you clout to get into the regular Comedy Store. It wasn't like a definite, but you were more likely to be seen.
Yeah.
Like Hassan and Jeffrey were both Comedy Store La Jolla door guys before they went up to do the door guy position at Hollywood. But I didn't get the job for a long time. I was just there. And I remember I would go, because Derek was there almost like maybe 3 nights a week. So anytime he was there, I would just go and watch after I was done my mics. And I didn't get offered a job there until when does pandemic happen? Was it in 2020?
Yeah.
So like the fall of 2019. So we're there for like 3 or 4 years, and I'm hanging out, which is kind of like the go-to, and doing the mic. And I didn't even get offered a job like as a door guy. I got a regular position. I was in the booth, so I wasn't guaranteed spots. So after I got the job, it was like some door guys would give me spots because they could control like who got up on Friends and Family.
So wait, did you were you going to the potluck every week and like working your way up, or you
go to potluck every week and you always sign up, but you weren't likely to get up. And maybe you got up like, I know people who signed up every week and never got up. And then if you were someone that they were kind of looking at, maybe you got up once a quarter, like, once every 3 or 4 months.
Damn.
If you were someone he really wanted to see, like he was like going to make you into a door guy, you probably get up more than that.
That's a crazy system.
But there's so many people signing up.
I know.
Like there would be there are easily over 300 people signed up every week for 15 spots,
But there weren't even really 15 spots because they knew some of the people.
Some of the people, they're definitely he was gonna like request to have on.
Yeah.
At least I think I was never part of making the list.
Right.
But that's kind of like the vague idea of what was happening.
Yeah. I went there and signed up, I think like twice.
Oh, and then also your chances of getting up were like higher if you had like an interesting name, if they didn't know who you were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
like if you ever looked back at any of like the old like lists, the first spot, that person always had a weird name. Always a weird name in the first spot.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's crazy. And then you have so much pressure on you because you haven't been on in 3 months, and it's like.
It's also horrifying. You're only doing 3 minutes. It's kind of like Kill Tony, but like it's different because the energy in the room is intense because everyone's like the lights are on. Yeah. They have all the lights up.
Oh, really?
It's not dark, and everyone knows this means a lot. And like it doesn't with Kill. It has the same thing. Like it's intense like it does with Kill Tony. It's just. You see the signs with the names of these headliners that all were door guys there and like big people, and you're like, wow, this is like history, and I'm a part of it, and that's horrifying.
Shit.
Dude, I remember the first time I got to go up, the only thing that saved me, because I remember being really nervous, was like, this is the first time you're ever going up in this room, but this is the only time it'll be the first time you're going up here. And that kind of made me like feel very present.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it was cool. It was a great place to be. Like, even before I worked there, I just loved being there because all the door guys knew me. So they would always find a spot for me to sit in the room and watch, like even if it was full. Or sometimes they let me sit in the back. I mean, you're not supposed to. But if it was like empty, the door guys would let me sit on the back row where the headliners are supposed to sit and wait to go up. And like I got to sit next to really cool headliners because of that. Like,
dang.
I sat next to John Mulaney once.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I sit next to John Mulaney.
That's so cool. Yeah. And wait, so that was the end of 2019 when you started working there?
Yeah.
And you're like
October, November?
Shit's going well.
Yeah, it was like
happen.
That was the first like moment where I was like, coming to LA was a good choice.
Yeah. And then COVID happened and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. It was a bummer.
Was it a hard decision to move to Austin?
No.
Really?
It was so easy.
Was there any part of you that was like, I have so much groundwork built here and like LA and I wanted to be a part of the Comedy Store and now I'm leaving that behind?
Well, I mean, during the pandemic, they officially fired everyone at like kind of halfway through. Not fired, but like let us go because they were closed. And they couldn't, I guess, I don't really understand the details.
Were you mad at them for that?
No, I mean, they had to.
Yeah.
And everyone was gone. It wasn't like specific for any one person.
Yeah.
So when they started reopening and we weren't in LA anymore because we were staying with my family, and he was like, I don't even know if we went back to LA if we would definitely get a job because they're only half open.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could afford to live in LA without the job. And it was a lot of ifs and not enough stage time to go back. And we were watching people here were getting up. Like Dylan had already moved here and he was getting up all the time. Holtzman was here. Fahim Anwar was here at the time. And Tony was here, obviously. And like, you know, Kill Tony was happening here. And it was like, I mean, even if this isn't the comedy capital, people are doing stand-up there. And that was the most important thing because there was just no stage time.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean, at the time, it definitely was like, felt like the comedy capital for that time.
Yeah.
Where
and I think
so much was shut down.
There's so much that can come from this. I mean, once the Rogan Club opens up, the possibilities are really endless for this scene.
Yeah.
But you're kind of just like waiting. But it was the most important. I'm so glad we made the decision to come here because I was not getting the kind of stage time back then.
Right.
Because even if you were like at any level in Los Angeles, you're not getting anything more than 8 to 10 minute spots, and definitely not a lot during the week because you're competing with like fucking Chris D'Elia, you know, you're competing with like comics who are getting up everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're no name, you know, you're competing with Segura, you know, it's like, why would you get these spots?
Yeah.
So being
here, I've heard other shows like people value like celebrity so much, so they'll like put up people who haven't even done stand-up that much, but they have some credit. And
like what's his name? The guy from Entourage. He's one of those people. He gets up a lot. He played Ari. I can't think of his name now. I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, something. There's a P somewhere.
You're right.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Who gives a shit?
Yo, I really have to pee.
Okay, let's get out of here.
I'm so sorry.
No, I have to pee.
I was like,
too.
I think I can hold it, but I don't.
You killed the water bottle.
I didn't even drink it all. I was purposely trying to take it slow so that I wouldn't have to pee. And I was like, oh no.
No, we're almost at 2 hours. We've done.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe you get to do this all the time. It's such a neat idea.
Thank you.
And the sun is beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I always, I just like doing this, so it's not about, I don't care if nobody watches, it's fun for me.
Do you get a pretty good, any viewership? Like what's?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you'll get a pretty big bump. There's like 100,000 people watch it.
100,000 people? Yo! Wait, let me promote the podcast. You got to listen to Spoil the Beans.
No, plug anything you want. No, that nobody listens. Nobody watches, nobody listens. But
that's how it always is.
My mom sometimes. That's cool.
Oh, good. Nico's mom listen to Spoil the Beans. Probably dig it.
Yeah.
That's cute that your mom listens. Does your mom support your comedy?
I'm kidding. She doesn't. Does she support it?
Like that you're doing it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like she doesn't know entirely.
She doesn't know that you're doing this.
No, she knows I am, but she doesn't fully.
She doesn't know how committed you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she might. Well, because it's, I don't know.
Well, also they're
What about your parents? They support it? We're going to have to get into that on the next podcast.
Yeah. Do they support it? You know what?
No.
The easy answer is no.
Oh, really?
Are they against it? Also, I mean, kind of against it, but not like adamantly, like, we disown you.
It's hard too because, like, when you're not in the comedy world, you don't get things. Like, they didn't get you being at the Comedy Store was like a big deal. Like, no one can be as excited.
They don't understand any success. Yeah.
That's more like.
Or the capacity to be like, well, even if I'm not famous, I could make a living.
Right.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you're not on Jimmy Fallon. What are you doing?
Even that wouldn't be enough. Derek and I talk about this a lot. Like, what would be the threshold? I'd have to be in a movie. It'd have to be not comedy. You know, it'd have to be something that they understand. Like, I have to be in, like, what do they watch? Whatever the current 24 show is, or, you know, like some kind of
Yeah. Squid
weird
Games?
show for older people. Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll get into that next time.
Yes. This was fun. Do I have to say anything?
No.
Okay.
We're good.